Hi, welcome to What's Your Game Again. I'm Jonathan Walter.
And I'm Jesse Miller. Today, we're not going to introduce you to a genre of board games, a style of mechanics of how a game works. We're actually going to talk about a theme that you might be interested in because we're interested in. We are people who love to go hiking, to go camping, to get in the outdoors. And so maybe the theme of nature is interesting to you. We've noticed it's become very popular in the last few years. And so we want to recommend a few games to check out.
hmm the first game is called Photosynthesis. And this game is kind of different because you might score a ton of points on one round, but not on the other round. Because what happens is there is a sun that rotates as the game goes on. So one turn it'll be in this position, the next turn it moves. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to use sun points to plant trees and place them on the board. And as the game goes on, you'll get sun points, and then the trees will grow. And you could, it's kind of like chess because you're trying to block other players, keeping them in the shade from getting sun points. So I thought that was a pretty
Yeah.
neat like element to the game.
It's probably one of the prettiest, like most
hmm
beautiful looking games. It looks like a simple piece of art when I've seen it played.
Yeah, they have these little 3D trees that's the trees that you're placing on the board. So
Yeah.
it's almost like you are building a forest, little, medium, big.
Yeah. It looks really nice when it's set up and played out.
hmm
Another game that I kickstarted a few years ago and gave away as a gift to a friend, and then he moved. I never actually got to play it, but it's a game that looks so fun and so beautiful. It's called Parks, and the idea there is that you're traveling through national parks throughout the U.S. and you're collecting points, gathering different resources, taking different pictures, and the artwork of this looks amazing. The reviews on this game are awesome, and it's one that I'm kicking myself that I didn't just purchase for myself as well, but I probably will here soon because it looks beautiful, and that's Parks. So.
hmm the next game is one that I kickstarted. It came out this past summer, and it's called Trailblazers: The John Muir Trail. And as you can see, the art on it is beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and by Andrew Bosley. And all the cards are just filled with the same art, so it's not just the box. Your point of the game is you're hiking the John Muir Trail.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking photos of things and gathering personal and natural resources to be able to do more things and to also survive on the trail. Um, Lots of things you could do. Like I said, it's a worker placement game.
Yeah.
So, um,
I like that you're filling your
mhm,
backpack in this game with
yeah.
different resources that you need
hmm
to get to different parts of the trail. So that's a cool mechanic. And
hmm
as somebody who we've done a lot of hikes together, you need different resources to get through different parts of the terrain, and it's kind of cool how it works in that
Yeah.
game. So
hmm
yeah. Another game similar to that, but much more simplified. It's actually by the makers of Parks, Keymaster Games. They make Trails. It's much more condensed, but a little bit different. So there's some similarities, some similar iconography with Parks. Uh, Same beautiful artwork. I mean, different art, but beautiful style. And in that game, you're hiking this trail, these series of trails, and then you're going to turn around and do that same trail, but at night. And each card that's a part of the trail would flip over and have different resources that you could collect and different perks that you gather throughout the hike. So it's another hiking themed game
hmm
that looks really amazing.
Yeah, and then there's a ton of other games. John Muir Trail is coming out with a new Kickstarter in the fall
Mm-hmm.
based on the Arizona Trail. Canopy. There's another one, Wild Serengeti, where it's kind of like Tetris. Also like Tiny Towns, where you're trying to position the animals in order to take the perfect picture
Mm-hmm.
for to gain points.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
If some of these games might be a little complex if you have younger kids,
hmm
and I would suggest something like trekking the national parks. So it's the same idea of going through national parks, but almost simple like Ticket to Ride. You're going to the parks and you're gathering these stones for points at the end. It's very easy to teach, very easy to learn, and so that might be something you're looking to do with a family. Another one, if the parks aren't your theme, if that's not your thing, my wife would really enjoy a game called Planted, where you have a little garden and you are trying to grow different plants. You're getting different tools, different resources to help fertilize and cultivate your garden. And that is a game that looks beautiful. It's very affordable online right now. And so I would encourage you to check out Planted. Um, Wingspan is another
Yeah.
one. Maybe you don't want to do the garden thing, the plant trees and hiking trails and going through parks, but Wingspan, you are trying to attract different birds, and you get the most points by getting the most eloquent, beautiful birds, I guess,
Hmm.
to come to you and be um, in your view, I guess, is how it works. And so that's one that looks super interesting, and the artwork also is just incredible. And I know they're making they've made some expansions to it, so they're adding new birds in different areas of the globe that
Hmm.
you're looking at birds from. So not just North American birds. Um,
And yeah, and then uh, some other games that other lists put on are
mhm,
like they include them in nature because they have animals in them, and
mhm.
they're more whimsical, kind
Yeah,
of like your Everdell or your Root.
root. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So.
would not. Root is not family friendly,
Hmm.
and root you're really not cultivating anything.
Hmm.
But the idea there is you're in a wooded area, and some people are the cats. There's this like raccoon by himself. There's like the eagles, and then like the
Tons of
forest critters.
expansions.
Yeah, there's all kinds of expansions to Root. It is a very complex game. Don't let the whimsical art fool you to think this is a child's game. It is not at all a child's game. So if you're new to games,
Hmm.
skip this one. But if it's something that you love strategy and you like the outdoors and whimsical sort of things, then Root might be it. As we've talked about Everdell before, we've showed videos on Everdell. It's
That's a
beautiful.
family game.
It's a family
Hmm.
game, and there's younger versions of it for littler kids. Beautiful art. You have this big 3D tree with cards and things on it. These squishy little berries that you collect, and sticks that you
Yeah.
would gather, rocks, like pebbles, and all kinds of things. So it's a beautiful outdoors theme, but the creatures aren't like the creatures in Trailblazers or in Parks or in Wingspan. These creatures have jobs,
Yeah.
occupations, and you try to
The
match them up.
innkeeper.
Yeah. So things like that, it's not
More
realistic.
fantastical.
Yes. And it's fun though. So maybe the outdoor theme is something you're interested in. There's a variety of games for you to check out. Even the makers of Parks and Trails has a Kickstarter out right now with another game where you are creatures from like a farm area who's trying to create your own farm and grow your own crop. It's beautiful. It's not Parks, it's not Trailblazers, but it's nature themed. And so maybe that's something you're interested in and you might find enjoyable. So,
Yeah. All these games seem to be very eye catching because I
yeah,
think that's one of the big things in nature is how like beautiful it
yeah,
is.
it's pretty cool. So, as always, we want to ask you what's your game again? I'm Jesse Miller.
And I'm John the Walter.
Until next time.